afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Cash Flow Accelerator for you, the dedicated children's activity entrepreneur. Whether you're I'd say good afternoon. We have people joining us, whether you're on Zoom, whether it's on all of our live streams. If you see me looking in different directions, just to make sure I don't miss anybody and miss anybody's comments, if anybody needs any support. Whether it's morning where you are, afternoon or evening, thank you so much. It's an honor to have you with us on day 3 of our Cash Flow Accelerator. So valuable. All the things we've been covering this week to really support you to move into the last part of this year. Can we believe we're saying that? The last part of 2025, making sure you have the right mindset, you have the right skills to ensure what you do now reflects in your business and ensures you have a different 2026. Because what you do now is going to reflect in your business in 3 to 4 months' time. We all know it's not instant. So it's good to know you're tuning in, you're present, you're fresh out the gate for September, ready to make those changes that you're really going to start to see flourish in your business early next year. So welcome, Barb, welcome, Paul, welcome, Laura, welcome, Jess. Just a few of us on Zoom. Put videos on if you can. I do not like speaking to blank screens. Big smiley faces, please. All on live streams. I'm seeing we've got Billy, we've got Amelia, we've got another Paul, we've got, I think that's a Sam. Yep, Sam. Hello, everybody. I said, welcome to all of you. So we're on day 3. Today is all about increasing strength and increasing the strength of your enrollments through your cash flow. Just a bit of a recap. Obviously, we're on day 3. If you haven't yet still got our workbook, hopefully you've all got it by now. It's all been sent to your emails. It's also been put on the Facebook group. Make sure you've got our workbook that goes with the launch this week. If you haven't got it, can you make sure you send an email to, I'm just going to pop it in the chat box, folks. We don't have our wonderful Glia with us today. I'm just going to pop it in. Okay, so just popped it in the chat box for you. So you've got that in case you haven't got the workbook in front of you. But as I've said the last 2 days, the workbook is there for you to write light bulb moments. It's not for you to be like word for word what Katie says. Pin the points, the key things that I'm saying that you're like, yes, I want to implement. Because I want you to come out of this week, out the gate, not feeling overwhelmed, but feeling refreshed and feeling like, yep, I'm going to do that one thing. I'm going to make that one change and not to have a whole big fat notebook that is filled to the brim and you don't look at it for, days and weeks on end. So recap for us, guys. The replays, if you haven't watched the replays, they have been sent to you on the email. If you haven't got them, the email that I've just popped in the chat box for you, please reach out to Glia and she will get that across to you tomorrow. So we have been covering Monday, we covered monthly payments. Tuesday, we covered annual payments. Today is all about how we increase the enrollments that you have. One of the key questions we get, whether, people are brand new to our community, whether they're brand new in business or you're very established, it's Katie, how do we get more money out of our current database? Because the answer is, and I mentioned this on Monday of one of our fortes when we're working with many of our clients, is I look at so many different businesses. I'm like, there's money there, there's money there, there's money there, there's money left on the table. There's money everywhere in your business. But when you're so close to your business, you don't see this. There's so many things. That's why the bird's eye view. And when you're part of community, like you are showing up today, or if you're in one of our mentorship programs, that is in the power of accountability and the power of having another eyeballs on your business. So it's really important because sometimes we always think, I need more money in my business. I need more student numbers in my business. Therefore, I need to really push through my marketing to ensure I get that. And yes, obviously, that's really, really important. But it's not always the only thing we need to do. We often can get so laser focused on that front end that we forget that, as I said, there's money sitting in our business that's literally waving at us, that where we can generate more from our existing clients. And it's really important you work front end and back end. And it's not just having money coming through the front of the business that is like flowing through the business and coming at the bottom end of the business as quick as it's coming in. Ensuring you're working on enrollments and retention at the same time is so important. So today, as I said, we're focusing on ensuring you've got more strength in the people that are coming into your business. When you can have more retention and you are working on your current database and your current clients, you're going to build a stronger business. I teach in our community a lot. I teach you need in front end, you need, a sales team and you need an administrator. They're two very separate roles. Depending what stage of business you're at, they might be the same person to start with. But you need to have someone who's selling your memberships, who's selling the spaces in your classes, and then obviously someone who is doing all the back end, moving children up, chasing cancellations, dealing with customer service. As I said, as your business grows, that will become two separate roles, if not 2 or 3 people. We have 4 set people on the phones in sales. In the beginning, I think I had someone doing 2 hours a day. Okay, so that will grow as you grow, depending the nature of your business and where you are in business. But you also need to think front end sales and internal. So think external sales is the people, the new peeps, the new lovely children that are coming to try your classes. Your internal sales is your existing customers. And when you really work on both, you will find you are no longer looking for children to join your classes. You've got a constant flow. You're making sure you're really securing your LTV, which we talked about yesterday, the long-term value of your students. But you're making sure you're working internally and externally with the people that are in your community. So it's thinking of your internal person is your salesperson internally that is selling the upsell within your classes. And I said many companies, even companies that I work with that are turning like 1.5 million a year in their business, many of them do not have this. And this is the big difference that will take them from a 1.5 company to 2 million company. If you're on the lower scale, this is a big difference that will take you maybe from 100 grand up to a 400 grand a year company, because you're not constantly thinking, I need to just rely on those new people coming in. You're working every angle of your business, which then reduces your advertising spend. It will bring up your profit margins, and it will just reduce your expenses everywhere in your business. So think external person on the phones bringing new lovely children in. Your internal person said this may be someone very part-time to start with. It may be you to start with. I was in every part of my business at some stage over the last 18 years being in business. I'm now at the business 100%. And I have teams in place, but mirror this to where you are at. This may be, I said, you doing this just a 1 hour a week, depending how many students you have. So internally, what are some of the things internally as a salesperson that you are going to be doing in your business to increase your enrollments with your current people that are in your business? One is looking at where can you increase your class time. So having a look and going, right, these current children are doing an hour. Maybe could they do an hour and a half? Do you have a tiered program where they might start at 45 minutes, then they move to an hour, then they move to an advanced class at 90 minutes, then they may move to a squad or academy or whatever you want to call it to 2 hours, then they move up and maybe do 3 hours? Do they have multiple different classes that they can come to? So first of all, looking at increasing your class times, just by looking at your model and increasing by 15 minutes here and there, or half an hour here and there, you might not feel it if you've got a very small number of children, but when you've got a large amount of children attending your classes, you will start to see that small change. We made this change in one of my customers' business the other day, and we brought another 5 grand in a month by increasing numbers. Now they've got about 450 students. But if you do this at the beginning, wherever stage you're at, you're not going to leave any money on the table. So really have a look. Do you have a development program? Do you have different levels they can go up? What do they start on? For ours in our gyms, we have preschool, then we have beginners, then we have advanced, then we have squad, then we have competitive squads. For a lot of performing arts companies we work with, they may have multiple different classes, multiple different class times and lengths, depending on the activity that the child is doing, whether it's tap, whether it's ballet, whether it's singing. So think how that can be incorporated into your model. So number one is, how can you increase your class time? Number two how can you differ the schedule so that they come multiple times with you? So I was talking to one of my high-level clients that has been with us nearly 2 years now. And she said to me, I've got about 200 students in my class. I never feel, Katie, like I've got enough students. I always feel like when I'm hearing other people's stories, especially in our community, and when everyone's sharing their wins and achievements from the week, and I say, and they're sharing how many students they've got, or we're counting student numbers. And she said, I always feel like I'm not doing as well as I should, even though, you know, the turnover is pretty good, but my student numbers never seem to feel like they're getting there. And I said, hang on a minute. You have got multiple children doing multiple classes. So you shouldn't be counting numbers on bums on seats in terms of like, how many exact children have I got registered? You should be counting bums on seats. So have a look at that child. You might have one student that's doing 5 classes a week with you. And when we did that and stripped it right back, we went from about 200, 250 students to about 620. Because I said, you've got to count that child that's doing 4 classes a week. That's 4 children. Because that's 4 spaces you've filled. So it's looking, and if you've ever felt like that, whether you're watching this on live, guys, or you're watching this on replay, it's looking at really, because everybody's model's different. And, you know, and this particular person would get a little bit like upset at times and a little bit like, I don't feel like I'm doing as well as I should. This person's like bringing in all these student numbers, and why are their students so much better than mine? I'm like, no, they're all doing, it's a preschool company. All their children doing 45 minutes a week, 1 class only. Yours aren't. So really have a look, 1, at the class times, increasing them, but 2, have a look at multiple sessions. And some models you might not be able to do that. If it's a preschool model and you're only working with preschool, really, most likely they're going to come 1 session a week, maximum 2. If the mum wants to do 2 sessions, you're not going to move them up into different levels at that age. So it really depends. Some of this, like I said on Monday, some of what I'm teaching this week may be really relevant to your model. Some of it you're going to take, and some of it you're like, I'm going to park that idea. I'll come back to that in 12 months because it's not relevant to my business at this time. So have a look at, I said, multiple times. Where can you increase? If you increase how much time they are with you, and then you also increase the frequency. So you're looking at the consistency, and you're looking at the frequency and the duration of that client with you. Start playing around with some numbers, and you will start to get really surprised at how a small tweak here and a small tweak there can make such a difference. So number 1, we've covered class times. Number 2, we've covered today multiple times with you and increasing, like I said, that frequency and duration and the consistency. Number 3, we've touched on this a little bit this week so far, is referrals. So really digging in. People miss this all the time. Referrals, referrals, referrals. Your lovely people that are coming to you, love you, trust you, love your classes. Lean into them. Lean into that referral. Lean into asking them. Do not just send one email out with a referral and this is what we will give you if we give you a referral. It's not enough. Pick up the phone. Make connection with your customers. Maybe at the same time, it's a great connection piece. It's a great piece of how's your classes going? Where can we help? Maybe ask them at the same time if they're happy to leave you a testimonial. I can't tell you guys however many times in our community we hear this, and I hear it everywhere in the industry of my referrals are not working. I'm asking people all the time, I'm trying to build our Trustpilot. I'm trying to build our Google reviews. And I'm like, how have you done it? And years ago, this totally was us. We'd send an email. We'd hope for the best. Maybe send one every 3 months. People ignore it. You have to push. If you don't ask, you don't get. So think the same with your referrals. You have to pick up the phone. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but success isn't going to come on, you know, out there on the skinny comfort branch. It's going to come way, way out there, past that skinny branch. Okay. So always think, how can I think outside the box? How can I connect more with my customers? So referrals, when you're looking at, let's say you've got so far, let's say you've got 200 students, and they are, let's say half of those are happy to give you a testimonial. That's 100 testimonials. Now, let's say a third or a quarter of those are happy to now give you a referral. That's 30 to 50-ish new people coming your way. It's really, really powerful when you work the numbers. And obviously, if they say, nope, I haven't got anyone at the minute, you're not going to badger them. Say, no worries at all. Thank you so much for your help. If you need any further support, we are here. Let us know, blah, blah, blah. So, and then cycle back to them in 6 months' time if they're still a customer of yours. Just don't think once I've asked them, I never can answer them again. Repeat it 6 months later. This is a perfect example. I mentioned this the other day. What happens in September? New schools, new friends, new activities, people move, a lot of shift, new connections. So when you delve into your current market and said, if this may be you to start with, or give it to another member of your team, internal sales is just as important as external sales. Okay. Next one, siblings, similar to referrals, but you have to ask majority of customers, if they have a sibling that they know wants to do your class, they are going to contact you. But please don't just lean on that thinking they know that their sibling can come. They know if you do a particular sibling discount. They may know, oh, they do that sibling discount. Don't rely on people knowing what you do. You are the one to sell it to them, to remind them. By you giving them a call, by you getting in touch, it may be like, do you know what? Little Sam has just started. He's just turned 2. Is he old enough for your classes? And you're like, yeah, we start at 2. Perfect. Can he come next month? Excellent. Just that phone call by you saying, oh, yes, we start at 2. I can't tell you, we start at 6 months old in our gym. We do a lot of baby gym and preschool, baby sensory as well. And I can't tell you the amount of times people call up the gym and I'm hearing my team on the phones and they say, oh, and I can hear the customer say, I think they're a bit young. And they're like, oh, how old are they? And they're like, oh, a year. And we say, oh, no, we start at 6 months. That turns into a customer. But if we hadn't reached out to them and fully informed them, we'd have missed that customer. So you can really see with these little tips, guys, how you, if you're looking at, I just need to get 30 more students. I just need to get 10 more students. I just need to get 80 more students. Work the numbers, work what's in front of you. And when you're working it internally and externally, and you do that consistently over time, don't do it for 4 weeks and go, nah, it doesn't work. Do it again. Now do it again. Remember, what works in your business now, what you're putting the effort in is going to reflect in January. Some of our clients in our mentorships are having the best Septembers they've ever had in business. And some of them have been in business for about 18 years, some about a year. There's a reason for that. They started in our mentorships back in March because what they learned in March and April is now showing up in their business. So the same for you. Anything you're learning, you're implementing, you're putting it into action, it's going to start showing up in January or February. It always takes 3 months. I always say a good 90 days, whether you're hiring a member of staff, it takes 90 days for them to really get established, know what they're doing. Generating new cash flow, 90 days. Sometimes it's straight away, but in general, you're going to see it start to flurry through. So building this plan into your 12-month marketing plan is essential so that you start to feel, when you do this consistently, guys, you will find after like 6 months of doing this consistently, you are starting to feel like our numbers are really solid. We're losing less. We're not having to market as more. We've reduced our ad spend or increase your ad spend because you've now got more space. You've grown. You've got more capacity. So you've then got more money to play with your budget. So it starts to turn in. So the real important thing is that with your external and internal marketing, you're cementing both ends of your marketing machine. You're not letting any stone unturned. And I totally understand in the early days of business, when you're doing everything, things can get waylaid. But if you just start building a little bit of this into your business, and as your team grows and you have more mental capacity and you have more capacity in your team, you will see this really start to grow. So far, guys, I just want you to put in the chat or put in the live streams, wherever you're tuning in from. I just want you to put one thing that I've said today, what has resonated, what has jumped out at me, because I love you all to speak to me. Just put one thing in the chat box. What has jumped out? Cool. Amelia, internal marketing. Excellent. Never thought of it like that. 10 years in business. Yes. Light bulb moment, Amelia. Fabulous. Billy, internal as well. I've had some comments. Referrals, never thought to call them. Yeah, absolutely. We never do we? But it's like going the extra mile, picking up the phone. Everything now is so automated. You have to have an element of personal connection, personal touch. It's really, really important. So a lot of emails, a lot of personal calling. Thank you, Barb. A lot of internal. I'm seeing internal a lot on the live streams. Internal. Yeah, it's really important. Otherwise, you're spending so much money on ad spends and front end marketing and forgetting everything that's currently in your business. It is way, we save thousands when we're looking into this in clients' businesses. Thousands. It's super, super, super important. Awesome. So they're the key things on really how to increase the enrollments and strengthening what you currently have in your business. Now, yesterday we launched our bronze mentorship. I really hope you've all had the chance to look into this. This is a must. Obviously, what we have covered this week so far, if you are serious about building core systems and building a business in the children's activity world that can give you some freedom, where you're not struggling with student numbers, where you feel like it's not a guessing game, and every decision you make, you're not sure if you're in the right direction. You're feeling like you're needing support and accountability on a week-to-week basis. Seriously, look at our bronze mentorship. Normally it's £59. From now until Sunday night, it's £49 a month. It is an absolute steal. It's an absolute no-brainer. You get complete support of core systems. You get one Q&A a month with our dedicated coaches, and you get one meeting, like it's one training call with myself and all of our clients once a month. So you get 2 calls a month and your core systems. And as I said yesterday, guys, about this, we designed this as a gateway for you to really get an experience of what gold medal coaching can really give you. We've made it such a low cost with high value because we want it to not be a thinking decision. If you're in business and you're needing support by industry coaches, £49 a month, what is it, like a takeaway a month? It's a no-brainer. And we've made it like that. My first coaching that I had over 18 years ago was £500 a month. I really wish these kind of offers and companies existed when I started business all those years ago. But having a look on being surrounded by a community, being able to ask your questions and not second guessing. Success loves speed. And said that's why our bronze mentorship was designed to ensure at whatever level you are, you can have some support to really move the needle. Because it said in 18 years of business, I have had mentors and I've been part of programs and mentorships. I wouldn't be where I am today if I have done it myself. And I use this example a lot because I believe sport and business are very interlinked. I wouldn't become a British champion if it wasn't for my coach supporting me every step of the way. And it's the same for business. You don't learn to drive a car by yourself. You have an instructor. It's exactly the same for business. So the bronze link has been put onto our Facebook group. You can see that in there. If you haven't got access to Facebook, reach out to support@goldmedalcoaching.info and they can send you the exact link for the £49 offer. As I said, it is valid till Sunday night only. Then Monday morning, it will go back up to £59 a month. So any questions at all on bronze, guys, reach out to our support team. But we're getting lots of people ready to start and rock and roll from Monday next week. So I look forward to seeing you all within our bronze mentorship so that we can train you on a month-to-month basis. And like I said, what we do now implements into your business in next year. So when you're looking at planning 2026, it starts now. It doesn't start in December because it's always a bit of a gap between your learning and your implementation and when you start to see it show up in your business. So tomorrow, I'm excited as we come to the end of our accelerator. We're on day 4. Now, tomorrow we're going to be covering doubling your enrollments through your cash flow, and then also mixed with how to discount effectively and efficiently so it actually protects your bottom line within your business and your cash flow and your finances. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an honor spending, I was going to say Tuesday afternoon, this week's flying by, Wednesday afternoon with you. Thank you so much if you're on Zoom, if you're on our LinkedIn, if you're on our YouTube, if you're on our Instagram and Facebook. Lovely to see you all streaming in, and I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow on day 4. Thanks, guys. Bye, guys.